back with another video. So today this is my first Marvel video. I want to talk about Wonder Man, Spider-Man, and just everything Marvel for right now. So with the recent news of Spider-Man lately, before I even get into everything, only reason why I haven't made a Marvel video, I love Marvel. Let's not get that twisted. I don't want to make it seem like I'm a DC dick sucker. But Marvel's just been like, yo, whack. So I'm just giving my thoughts on everything, how everything is moving, what they doing. But everything Marvel right now, Wonder Man, Spider-Man, Doomsday, and Daredevil. So with Wonder Man, I'ma sound crazy, man, nigga, but like, yo, son, why we made him black, man? Ooh. And then to throw like the actor nigga as like, yo, playing a Wonder Man, and then like to not use like that was a big ass like that was not. I didn't like that. And yo, I'm watching the show and it's watchable. Like, it's no bad writing, it's no like cheesy moments, it's no like offsetting jokes, like nigga, that like misplaced jokes. It's none of that. The problem with the show for me is like, yo, this nigga's acting and acting.
Who says?
Who says what?
That I don't judge.
That was bad.
Ja!
Is it no matter who I'm...
Shut up, not yet.
That shit is fucking trash.
So we reversed his story. From my knowledge, Wonder Man was an actor and trying to get his career back onto shape. He was trying to ask Iron Man for a favor, or like a not a handout, but like a thing, like a vouch, like, yo, you give me this movie, fuck with me. And Iron Man was like, nah, fuck that. Kind of like gave him the cold shoulder. You know, Iron Man in his early days. And around this time, I think Iron Man was already Iron Man. And Wonder Man Simon Williams had enough. He goes to his brother, works with AIM. They do tests on him. He gets his abilities. Now his abilities is like, it's psionic abilities. Now I'm not gonna act like I'm a smart nigga and smart ass and know about it, but from the extras that he has power, energy absorption, flight, super strength. He can make himself big. He can make himself tangible. He's like a mini Superman with extras. He's immortal. He doesn't age. He doesn't have to eat. Shit like that. He's OD. And you start the show with him basically already that nigga. He's already got his power. So as I'm watching the show, my first thought was like, okay, when we get to the origin episode, you see that they had an explosion in his crib. I always forget them to see Damage Control. Damage Control was watching him from 13. This nigga's 30. And from my knowledge, everything is still today. Like, I think it's only like 2025. So you mean to tell me this nigga's had his powers since before Iron Man got kidnapped in Afghanistan? Okay.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So as I'm watching. There was only one Easter egg where I peeped where there was a like Avengers reference. Cause that's what I was like kind of like listening out for, looking for when the nigga went to the actor's house, and you kind of see like the posters in the background, like they kind of made movies of the Avengers. Well, okay, cool. But outside of that, like I didn't really catch no, like they said Cap name I think one time, but the way they set up Wonder Man, and they keep saying heroes. The way they set up Wonder Man, they're gonna give him the Peacemaker treatment, set him up for the reboot, so his story just like smooths right in. That's how I see it. And yes, they as I mentioned his brother earlier, his brother's the Grim Reaper. He's like a AIM agent. I think he's worked for Hydra before, but really an AIM agent. And they show him, and he's nothing like how he's in the comics, of course. But he's kind of like skeptical. He has like a bad vibe on him. When Wonder Man goes to his house and you see the family, see the brother, and he's with the Trevor dude. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen him online. They're the bestest of friends. When you see Trevor, the brother's like, yo, aren't you the nigga that was like a terrorist one time? What the fuck? What you doing here, man? Kind of on his body. But Wonder Man shakes it off like, yo, don't leave him. He's good. He was framed, whatever. Kind of, vouch for him, whatever. And that was it. That was it about the brother. Like, he was like, okay, all right, that's cool. And went regular day. He was on Simon Williams' ass like, yo, when you gonna get a job? When you gonna start working? When you gonna, stop trying to be an actor, get a job, whatever. Wonder Man get mad, had a big burst out. Yo, the family, okay. His power like little showed a little bit. Nobody cared. The whole family saw it and like, okay, went about their day. And I'm saying the whole family, but I think it was just the mother and the brother. He's just, like I said, the way they setting him up is already for the reboot. And yo, why he's giving mutant, man? He's giving off straight mutant, man. And the way the damage control was moving, they're moving like the MRD. That's the mutant cops, basically. They're the niggas that lock up the mutants, put them in special cages. Mutant cops. And they just like, it's like they needed a reason to lock his ass up with like a certain way. Like a certain reason to lock him up. Like, yo, get him to do this. Like, they were trying to get Trevor to like really get him to that point, but they eventually lock him up and whatever the case may be. And I'm gonna be honest, like I kind of might have fell asleep or whatever, but when I woke up, yo, Wonder Man took Trevor and flew him out, and they was like, yo, we're gonna see this nigga in Doomsday or Secret Wars. Like, yo, and I'm sounding like a bad commentator, but at the same token, yo, what is this? You could have just waited till the reboot. You didn't even have to, all because you had it in a bin, you had to release it. I get it, but like, you could have waited. Oh no, you could have gave it the zombies treatment. Like they just had that in the bin and just released that. They been had that. So what was the point in this show, man? Just to introduce another super dude. And like I don't care for him. I don't. And like I like Wonder Man, but I don't care for him. I don't see the appeal to him. So what? And like, okay, so now going to Spider-Man. What I'm hearing about Spider-Man is, okay, Sadie Sink was confirmed to be Jean Grey. She will be Jean Grey coming. And this is alright, so this got leaked. This is a leak. From what I'm hearing about everything of the movie, Spider-Man has been Spider-Maning for some time. And he has paid attention to nothing of his personal life. So no Peter Parker. But he pays attention to MJ and Ned here and there. MJ got a new man, supposedly Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn will be in the movie, supposedly. Ned, I believe he's in college doing his own thing. So Spider-Man is just Spider-Man. And supposedly, yo, this nigga start mutating. That's the synopsis of the movie, is that he's starting to mutate. He starts getting the organic webs, basically turning into Man Spider. He's gonna mutate to that naturally, supposedly. And throughout the movie, he's trying to stop. The villain is supposed to be Tombstone. Tombstone is supposed to be replacing Kingpin because Kingpin is the mayor now. And now, it's up for grabs to be the Kingpin of, the underground. Tombstone is the guy. Throughout the movie, I think it's Tombstone trying to get his... Oh, not only that, I think Punisher trying to fuck with him too. Punisher is also not Punisher. Not trying to fuck with him. Punisher. Hold up, before I even get to Punisher, Spider-Man fucking with Tombstone and shit. And I guess this nigga starts mutating throughout the movie. Supposedly, Punisher is working with Jean Grey to help Spider-Man with his mutating problems. And on top of that, since the CD, I believe the damage control is also on him too. Because throughout the movie, I'm pretty sure he'll bug out. But the damage control is going to be on him too. Like, the movie seems all over the place. And how does Hulk fit into this? I heard Hulk supposedly gets hit with more like gamma radiation, and then like he turns to like another personality, which is Grey Hulk. What is going on? And how does this all lead up into Doomsday? What are you doing? Like, what are we doing? So you have Wonder Man, just regular dude. Now, like I said, he seems more for the reboot. He'll most likely be a mutant, if you ask me. I don't really like that, but okay. And Spider-Man is, remember, this Spider-Man, we haven't seen no origin. There's no Uncle Ben reference. There is none of that. I think they mentioned him one time, like a little, feel me? And then they never even said his name though. And we never seen him get his powers. So we're gonna make him to Tobey Maguire Spider-Man now. So he's gonna have the organic webs and like that was part of his power trait. Like, and they're gonna go to Hulk supposedly to revert it, and then Tombstone comes in the mix, and niggas gotta fight Grey Hulk, and then supposedly Punisher gets like a War Machine suit to bug Hulk out. Like, this is a Saturday night cartoon, which sounds fire, but in the moment where Marvel is at, what the fuck does this do for the movie? Like, for the anything? Yo, if you ask me, this should have been the third movie, No Way Home, and then No Way Home should be this. I promise you, yo, if you think about it, yo, No Way Home should be the fourth movie going into Doomsday. That would have made so much more sense. Cause you have the multiverse and whatever the case. But this movie, like, yo, and this is supposed to be what, brand new day, a fresh new start for Spider-Man. How the fuck? So this would also take place after the reboot, right? That's what I'm saying. So you're giving us two things, and then Daredevil. And when you watch season 1, they mention heroes, and then Spider-Man and shit like that. So everything is kind of already in the reboot. Everything that we've been seeing so far, maybe except for some few exceptions, like I said, I think Thunderbolts and maybe Captain America and Ironheart. Like, that's subtle canon. Like, the way Suicide Squad was, the first one is subtle canon to the James Gunn universe. Those will, like, certain things will be subtle canons, like Mephisto canon. And that big ass Celestial in the water canon. Red Hulk canon. Sentry canon. But none of the Thunderbolts and like that, they'll probably, I don't know what the, can't tell because we know we're rebooting, and then you're giving us movies, and then what, you're gonna have to have a big ass announcement like, yo, this is not canon, this is canon, this nigga not gonna play this nigga, these niggas not coming back, something along that lines, because we're gonna go into this universe with Fantastic Four, Wonder Man, Spider-Man, Daredevil canon. In my eyes. Because I can't figure out with Thunderbolts, because like I said, how are you gonna do, unless you just have a bunch of super soldiers running around and Captain America just comes out the water. I could see that coming about, and whatever the case may be, but like I said, you're gonna have to recast certain people. Cap, if Chris Evans don't come back, you're gonna have to get a new Cap. Robert Downey Jr., you're gonna have to get a new Iron Man, he's old. War Machine, you gotta get a new War Machine. Hawkeye just had a accident. Wasp just had an accident. Paul Rudd is old. And we gotta do Hank, Pym, and Janet like again, and you gotta do them young. Hulk. Mark Ruffalo could stay, but we gotta do him right. You gotta do Hulk, Abomination, She-Hulk, Red Hulk. All right. Hulk's lore needs some like some love. Hulk needs some love. Thor needs a redo. Another like how Spider-Man is. Like we need another, and I believe Chris Hemsworth can stay. He should stay, but they need to change his direction with Thor. They need to make him more of a barbarian. What's the word? A Viking. They need to make him more of like a Viking type, a Viking god, and just make it spacey. Have that nigga a god in Star Wars, like Star Wars world, or some shit like that. But like, you need to re-image Thor. You need to change Hulk. Cap could use a little bit more emphasis in the past. And I'm rambling at this point, but when we reboot, how do you reboot with the stuff that you already been releasing? We just got Captain America: Brave New World, Ironheart, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Daredevil season 1 and 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not even gonna count that. Wonder Man and Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then Daredevil season 2. And I'm saying that all in the wrong order, but that's everything that just came out. And then to go to Doomsday, which is supposedly the end all be all, where Doctor Doom takes over and bugs out the Marvel multiverse. And then Secret Wars is the reboot, like is where they like we wash it all. So that's what I'm saying. From everything that's certain like around, certain things will be subtle canon and some things will be non-canon. Like that just didn't happen. And I'm gonna go back to Spider-Man, but not Brand New Day. See, Sony done looked at the board and like, they probably looked at their comments like, why don't we just listen to the fans? Because I've always said that Batman and Spider-Man are the two characters you can do multiple everything and they have nothing to connect with anything. Those are the two characters you can do 2 live action movies, 2 animated movies in a theater and have nothing to do with each other. You could do that with Spider-Man and Bat. So I'm thinking they're realizing Spider-Man is cool on the board, across the board. Why did we do Kraven the Hunter? Kraven, I've always said if you wanted to introduce Kraven without Spider-Man, Black Panther. If you wanted to introduce Beetle without Spider-Man, Iron Man. If you wanted to introduce I don't know, but you get the gist. You can introduce other villains through other heroes and then go to Spider-Man. Morbius, that's who I wanted to say. Morbius should have always been introduced through Blade, then Spider-Man. And then if you want to give him a movie or a show, so be it. But out the gate movie, no. Morbius is not that popular. Kraven is not that popular. Venom, I was always saying that was a weird, like, how do you do Venom without Spider-Man? It just doesn't. That's like Batman without Joker. You don't do that. I always said Joker 1 was cool, but you don't ever do that again. Venom, you don't ever do that again. I went to the movies to see Venom. I was sitting there like, no way. Like, this is a movie. And Joker, like, that's for people who don't know anything about Joker. But like, nah, those are bad movies to me. You just don't make them. You just call it something else. Venom could have been Prototype, nigga. And Joker should have been, I don't know, somebody else. A psychological killer or some shit. But somebody else, man. But, nah. Sony, I think they're picking up they're picking the ball up with Spider-Man Noir.
Night on the waterfront. On the docks, rats scurry about their grim business.
The Spider-Man Noir, you could do Spider-Man Noir, $20.99, and if they want, they do Ultimate. And I know a lot of people gonna be like, "Oh no, Marvel should have Miles Morales," and yes, I 100% agree. Miles should be in the MCU in every shape or capacity. The only reason why I'm disagreeing with that point is for the sole purpose that multiverse movie, the Spider-Man out of the Spider-Verse came out. That showed Sony like, yo, this is the guy. This is our mascot. Y'all can have Peter Parker. Have Peter Parker and all his shit. But we get everything Miles, nigga. We can have Miles and mention Peter off screen. Because we did that in the animated movie and he's loved. Like, Miles Morales is loved immensely. So I think they found their guy. And with all the Stranger Things cast going into their, they're getting into bigger projects. The black kid sounds crazy, but black kid, he could be Miles. And I've seen clips of him talk about it multiple times. I think they found their guy. And especially with the Shamik Moore stuff that happened in the past, that's their guy. He'll voice and possibly play Miles in the future. Merch on this video, son. But I'm looking at Marvel with a very side eye, like, what are we doing? I just want to get to the reboot. I don't even care for Doomsday. I don't care for Secret Wars. I'm tired of the nostalgia fest. I want to get to some stories. I don't want no more multiverse stuff. I'm kind of done with that. And yeah, you could say I've seen videos of it, but I was already out of tune with Marvel by Eternals. I saw WandaVision, Winter Soldier, and Loki season 1, and Winter Soldier and Falcon was okay. Wanda was good until the end. Like, yo, fire. It was fire. That last 2 episodes was like, really? Well, maybe the last episode, but nah, I didn't like the way it ended. So I left a bad taste in my mouth.
Bro ran to my sack, squirted the shit in my mouth.
Pause. God damn.
Bucky, I keep saying Bucky. Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was cool, but I'm biased with Bucky. I like Bucky. He should have been capped. Yo, Bucky should have been capped. And Loki, it was good. Loki season 1 is fire. But that ain't Loki. I could be critical. That's just not Loki. Loki is always about, if he would have made it out of hell, his first thing is like, how do I get Asgard? Not even how do I get Asgard, like, how do I get to run the show? And this is my show. Like, the way he went at it and all that, like, trying to save Sylvie, and I didn't see season 2, so I can't even speak about that, but, and especially with the Jonathan Major stuff, I know that they tried to divert from that story, so everything was just, didn't make sense. And then, like I said, with the way Loki is not a pleasant person, so it kind of was like, this is their take on Loki, and I wasn't really amused by it. But everything else after, like, I saw She-Hulk. What the fuck? What is that? I don't even gotta say nothing. What is that? Hawkeye was pretty okay, man. Hawkeye was alright. I fuck with Hawkeye. I think the ending was a bit corny with Kingpin. They crashed a car into him and was, missiles is blowing up in his, not even missiles, the trick I was blowing up in his face. He walking through it. No way. This is a regular dude. Like, nah. That nigga was trooping through all them trick out. Nah, I can't get past it. But the show was okay. That show wasn't bad. I didn't watch Echo. Eternals, I don't care for them. I always said that should have been a show, like 4 episodes, and That's it. Like, I don't think that should have been a movie. And not that big enough. It should have been a human. Yo, Secret Invasion. Yo, what is that? God. Oh my God. That was horrible. Horrible. Couldn't even finish that. I watched it like, what? When Maria Hill died? And I turned that shit off. Like, and then yo, this thing's buried to a squirrel. Like, nah, I ain't like that. Captain Marvel 2, yeah. I'm mixing on that. I think I like the ending a lot. That ending was like, oh my God, Beast, X-Men. I was fiending. But it was alright. Sorry. Thor Love and Thunder, no. I don't like that. Black Panther 2, Namor sells it for me. Namor was like, okay, I like it. I don't like the whole Namor. I like. But everything else, Marvel, we gotta. I think they noticed, like, yo, we need a massive reset. We need to go back to day one. So I'm gonna try to make a Marvel videos, but for me, I said everything right here, man. Everything I needed to say was right here. Like that's why I kind of been hindering the whole Marvel stuff, but I'm gonna try to be on Marvel a little bit more. But they gotta get it together. They gotta say something or release something for me to be like, yo. But nah. But DC with the whole Green Lantern, I got a video coming out about Green Lantern. I don't want to say DC gonna reboot, but like I said, I'm gonna talk about that in another video. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all niggas think about Marvel. If y'all think they doing good, or if y'all just waiting for the reboot, like y'all in the same boat with me. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think, man.